Hello, folks, and welcome back to Earworms. I'm your host, Dr. Lawrence W. Moore, and this week we are going to be looking at the Hammond Novachord, a very interesting instrument. Has a plethora of sounds that it could produce. In fact, it is considered by most to be the first commercially released polyphonic synthesizer. A number of a number of descriptors there to make it really work out. But it's a beautiful instrument and it has an interesting story. And it was utilized, it wasn't a great commercial success, but it was utilized in Hollywood for a time and in a number of things. And one of the series that really took to it was the Twilight Zone. So for the second half of today, we are going to look at the episode called Perchance to Dream from the Twilight Zone series, the original series. A very cool story, beautiful camera work and visual effects, as well as great music in the soundtrack. And the Hammond Novachord really rose to the occasion for that soundtrack. So we'll be doing that as slides with some audio excerpts. But before that, let's get to know the Hammond Novachord. And to do that, we're going to need some colleagues here. So let me cross the Terminator into night and go into stealth mode. Behold, we have here Emperor J. Goodwin.
Oh, yes. To sleep, perchance to dream. An excellent Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, it was. And it would not be complete without three. For we are three, not one, not two, but three.
Hello
And
there.
here we go.
I'm just here to serve, man.
To serve man.
Well, you served up some interesting stuff this Friday night. First of all, for anyone that's new to this series, my colleagues do every Friday night, a stream called B-Sides, and I am going to try and hit the right button because I want to actually share their channel with you to make sure folks can find it. There we go. I'm hitting the right buttons now, and away we go. So,
Wonderful.
you should be seeing at B-Roll Stage every Friday night. There's a stream, and both of these gentlemen are on the panel. Well, in fact, Adam Gray is in charge of the stream, and you know what I need to do? I forgot to leave a comment after the most recent Friday night stream.
A lot of people did, and I'm taking names.
Oh, seven married.
So let me take care of this right here. What
I
was
will,
that?
I will endeavor to drop the link in the chat right now.
Ricky, your bongo playing is too loud.
Oh, God. That damned bongo.
Yes, the feature film was Wild Angels, and if you've never heard of that, you're basically most like the rest of the human race. But it was entertaining to hear the panel riff on this film. So at least I took care of that, and I'll have to take care of Mr. Brown's channel later. But anyway, there you go, at B-Roll Stage on YouTube.
Thank you kindly.
No hay problema. So we are going to take a look at the Hammond Novachord. And since I needed to leave StreamYard and come back, it's not queued up for me, so let me just grab it real quick here.
I mean, personally, I would
There
have
we go.
preferred having a Novachord during a couple of movies that we've watched instead of banjos and bongos.
Yeah, the instruments with the letter B are becoming a bit of a problem.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
The thing about it was really heavy-handed. It was like the bongos were jacked up to 11. There's some sort of, I don't know, some sort of beatnik music going on in the background or something, and then this bongo's like
Whether you encounter the banjo. Oh, the banjos are another thing that have haunted
that
our
was
dreams.
a few weeks ago. That was,
Yes.
what was that, Time Warp or something?
Yes.
So anyway, the Hammond Novachord. 2 episodes ago we did the Hammond organ, so it's only fitting that we touch an instrument that was invented about 3 years later. The Novachord was invented in 1938, and it was released, though, in 1939 for about 3 years. In 42, it was discontinued, unfortunately.
I can't imagine what could have interrupted the production of the Novachord during this time period.
Well, that would be the year that the United States entered World War II.
Was it over when the Japanese bombed the Hammond Novachord? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Was it
Yeah.
over when Anakin blew up the Death Star?
No.
I don't think so.
Twice.
Poor Annie. But anyway, yeah, the Novachord was discontinued. It was generally considered not to be a commercial success, but it was still a very fine instrument. We're going to get to know a little bit about it. I mean, it basically, for the time, was great tech. As I said before, it's generally considered to be the first commercially released, important there, commercially released polyphonic synthesizer. But it was constructed, as you see in front of you there, like almost like a piano casing. The back portion of it, though, it's probably hard to see from this picture, but in other pictures we'll be able to see it. It extended backwards a bit for all of its internal guts, and it had a lot of it. It basically had like 12 oscillators. It was capable of 72-note polyphony, which is
Wow.
a lot. Yeah, I'm just wondering how that must have been for executing like some extra layers or something, because you got 10 fingers and between the 2 human hands and like 10 toes, and I don't know what else you can lay on that keyboard.
You just stay on that sustain pedal and keep hitting things. And here you go.
Yeah, so well, that's probably it, the sustain pedal, and so you could get some really thick sonorities. But any case, yeah, it had vacuum tube oscillators, and this is round about the time where the Trautonium was already invented in Germany, and was growing and being evolved, and that was back in Earworms 4. We covered the Trautonium, but that was also a commercial release. But remember, at least to start, it was monophonic. So this was polyphonic. That's the difference there. That's why this could be considered the first commercially released polyphonic synthesizer. Now, there was a polyphonic synthesizer before this. If you go back to Earworms 001, we had the musical telegraph was polyphonic, but it wasn't commercially released. And then, even in that same episode, we covered the telharmonium. That was polyphonic. It was a synthesizer, but it wasn't commercially released because I guess he didn't get into the business of trying to sell people factories. So
well, you do, but it's a very small market that you're going to address.
Yeah, and even selling subscriptions didn't work out. So in any case, yeah, it is technically, it fits the bill. Like the theremin was monophonic, Und Martineau was monophonic, so it fits that description. So anyway, let's move on to some other pictures here. Although, before I move on, it does have a number of pedals at the bottom. It has volume control, sustain, and another pedal there that I haven't been able to find out exactly what it does. But as you see, it's constructed for more of a piano player, as opposed to the Hammond organ, where you have foot pedals for playing notes, which is constructed for more of an organist. So this was, and part of the problem aesthetically for it was that it was a bit too weird for the commercial industry, although film and television did utilize it. But it was, for the commercial artists, so to speak, it was a little too weird in its sound, although you can get all sorts of different sounds out of it. But It was considered a little weird for them. And then for the more avant-garde or art music artists, it wasn't really marketed to them. And then at the same time, it was basically maybe not weird enough.
Yeah, a little too traditional. Not. It didn't
Yeah.
go full Troutonium.
Yeah, exactly. And but it had some great advances in it with it could do envelopes, it had filtering, it was a subtractive synthesizer, and as we see here, with the at least knob controls, there was a lot of control over the sound, and basically you could get kind of like stringy sounds as well as woodwindy sounds. We will be hearing some musical examples coming up. Well, actually, demonstration examples. And so you'll be able to hear the variety of sounds it could produce. So, but you know, it had an envelope on it, an ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release, which is pretty much a mainstay in synthesis to follow. You know, all your virtual plugins have that, and most of the hardware synthesizers that followed had that, and it was subtractive, meaning there was filtering going on. And we're going to be seeing a picture of the guts, I think, here, although we do have a better, more clarified and color image coming up. But as you can see here, this would be something that either laid horizontally to the back, almost like the like in a baby grand piano, although it wasn't shaped the same, it was basically square, but just like the back part of a piano, laying horizontally, or it could stand upright as well. I've seen both, and we'll see videos that have both. And that is Lawrence Hammond there, one of the inventors, but also you see credited there the other inventors that basically worked with him and for the Hammond company. The Hammond organ was already released, and so basically this was the second one of his products, and it didn't do as well, but a lot of the innovations were then also adapted to work for the Hammond B3, basically the B series, which was the second models of Hammond organs that came out in the 50s. And so I am hitting wrong keys all over the place. It wouldn't be earworms if I wasn't hitting wrong keys. There we go.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, beautiful poster. That's why I downloaded it, because like, hey, this is a cool poster. And basically, it was a commercial release. It was meant to be sold. Yeah, it is big, and they were expensive. I don't know the dollar amounts, but everywhere I've read, it was described as expensive for the time. Well, probably expensive for all time.
Yeah.
But it had so many components in it. 12 oscillators, 12 vacuum tube oscillators. Now, these 12 oscillators, basically, with vacuum tube oscillators, you could get multiple pitches out of them and so forth. So it was pretty robust there.
I do appreciate this advertisement where it's talk about blessed events. Just wait till this happens to you. No. I mean, you could have children, but that's not really the blessed event you want. You want the Novachords. That's what you're looking for.
You don't want kids putting their sticky fingers on there anyways.
No.
Yeah.
You know, the good news is this had to sell well in like the colder climates, because the amount of heat coming off of this thing must have been impressive.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And I just wanted to also point out here, this is a reminder to me, it was discontinued in 1942. And there was a number of reasons why. First of all, the lack of popularity. Oh, I got to get my keystrokes down, folks. Yeah, discontinued in 1942 for some of the reasons I mentioned earlier. Lack of popularity, because it was a little too weird for the commercial artists, and a little too not weird enough for the art musicians, and it was expensive for families, And then, of course, in 1942, that's the beginning of like rationing. And the Hammond Organ Company also needed to kind of like do their part in the war. And a lot of their inventions involved the use of valves, which were in short supply and need to be dedicated towards the war effort. And so they started producing valves and components for the U.S. military, and which meant they were producing less instruments, or in this case, they discontinued the Novachord.
Yeah,
And I'm
they'll
sure,
just transition to make radio sets, all of them. There, go ahead.
oh yeah, and I'm sure any Novachords that were still in showrooms not selling or in warehouses were basically probably dismantled, you know, and
Scrapped.
Yeah,
yeah,
pulled for
and
parts.
there was 1,069 of them made during that 3-year period, which is actually a pretty good production. I guess, you know, they were already riding high off of the Hammond organ, and they were able to produce good amounts of these.
Yeah,
But you know, they didn't sell well except for Hollywood. And what ended up happening is like they had to, you know, use their parts, and actually, you know, the Hammond company was able to keep going in producing as part of the military industrial complex. So
yeah, and it's true for. I mean, you know, if you look back in the era, jukebox manufacturers ended up making firearms. You know, the 1911 pistols were made by Wurlitzer, amongst others. You know, it's things that you know, and you already have, you know, skilled tradesmen who can work in these industries. We'll just redeploy them, and yeah, if you're able to make the you know, the Novachord, you can definitely make a radio. So get to it.
well, it was basically an admirable effort for the country at the time because, yeah, there was a little bit of weirdness about it, but overall, World War II was not an optional war.
No.
And, you know, a lot had to be produced. And that's why the United States was remembered from that period as being the sleeping giant that woke up. And,
Yeah, we had in World War One we were the arsenal of democracy, and in World War Two we showed what it looks like when we actually start wielding that, and that was over.
Yeah, we spun up production, and it just was kind of amazing.
Yeah.
so anyway, here we go. Some of the facts that I think I already mentioned, but 12 oscillators, 72 note polyphony, and there's a better view of some of the guts like vacuum tubes for oscillators and as well as amplifiers. Well, no, those were valve amplifiers that they were using, and you know, it had envelope control, filtering, and basically it was like the predecessor of more modern day synthesizers. And you know, it had all that fine stuff and controls. I'm hoping I get to a slide where I get to play something. I do have markings in the upper right hand corner to tell me when to play them. I think I
Well,
need
you're
to
going
go.
backwards, so that will
Yeah,
definitely not work out for you.
I am looking to see where I have my markings. And yeah, I think by now I already was supposed to play an example. Oh my goodness, don't tell me the indications didn't come through. So it's me again. So anyway, we're going to play here. Yeah, this looks like it lines up. Here's a demonstration. So it's about time we hear this bad boy.
Yes.
So here we go. was a reconstructed Novachord.
He's got a few dead keys on that. You might
Yeah.
want to look at.
Well, obviously, this is someone's personal project, and but and that's what most of them are today. Are basically reconstructed or replicas, because I don't know how many of the originals are still around, and if they are, they probably needed a lot of maintenance.
Oh yeah.
You know, what we have today are largely replicas or people's personal projects, although there are societies out there trying to track down any originals that are left. And it looks like they've been able to maybe track down 5.
Wow.
And even that being said, a lot of those had to be kind of like a lot of parts replaced. And in fact, we're going to hear from a gentleman from Sweetwater, the music store, coming up, because they actually had at one of their gear fests, or not their gear fest, but a national gear fest, they actually had a Novachord there that was a replica. And so we're going to hear from this gentleman and hear some more Nova. Whoops, I pressed the wrong thing. That is going to be a performance that we're going to hear. And I did clear it through YouTube, so we are going to be able to play an actual piece of music.
And this booth, which is my booth, is the Hammond Novachord. This amazing device from Hammond was made in 1939, Chicago, Illinois. This thing can do 72 notes of polyphony. It's basically a polyphonic synthesizer in that it actually has filters, high pass, band pass, low pass. It has an envelope knob that'll do attack, sustain, release settings. It's got an amazing vibrato circuit, which I'm going to show you. And it basically has all different kind of controls that let you set the balance of volume from top to bottom. And has built-in speakers, a very powerful amplifier. We're running it out on stereo speakers right now. But just an amazing thing. When this came out, for example, Bob Moog was 6 years old. And this thing was used in movies. It was in Gone with the Wind. It was in 10 Commandments. If you've ever heard the song Till We Meet Again by Vera Lynn, the background instrument was played with this. It's been on many sci-fi soundtracks. Very interesting sound, and I'm going to play it for you. One of the really cool things about it is the vibrato circuit over here. It's got 6 little leaves that are moving back and forth, and only 2 keys per octave share each of those leaves. So you have a separate vibrato when you play a chord. You get a nice, lush ensemble effect. And all of these capacitors and resistors have all been hand replaced. The originals were hand-rolled capacitors with wax ends, so those all dried out. And so, like I said, 2,000 hours were put into fixing this thing up. 163 tubes, thousands of capacitors and resistors. And it is just a uniquely amazing piece of history. I'm told there are only 5 working on the planet. And here at GearFest, we're letting the public actually play it. This is the last week this will be out in the public, and then it's going away to a studio. So now let me play a little bit for you.
Wait a minute. I thought I had the whole video where he actually played it.
Well, there you go.
Well, don't worry. We do have a performance for you. As he mentioned, it was utilized in a piece of music that featured the performer Vera Lynn.
We'll meet again.
Yes, we will meet again. Vera, what has become of you? Well, that's Roger.
Well, she got a
Waters.
little older.
Yeah, that's Roger Waters for you. But anyway, we do have this performance right here. That one already. Follow the number.
Oh, lovely.
some serious vibrato on that.
Yeah.
No, that was made a bit famous in a movie. Doctor Strangelove.
Oh yeah.
That's how they end had the movie.
Was it the Novachord version?
I'm pretty sure. It's definitely Vera singing "We'll Meet Again."
Okay, so there we go, folks. That was a performance by Bert van den Brink, who is a Dutch composer as well as pianist. And obviously it was designed more for the pianist in mind than the organist. And I guess the thing is, some people even, I don't know, even Princess Fiona says she doesn't really care for keyboard instruments too much, except for pianos and Hammond B3s. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to see what Mike Gorley has to say there.
So what's up, Lawrence? Would seem you were having trouble with the buttons tonight. I
Yeah.
think the buttons are working fine. It's the seeing which buttons to push that is.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, although...
How is tonight different from every other?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be earworms without me sucking at something. So anyway, we do have another example of some usage of the Novachord here. Here I said mostly used in Hollywood because maybe that's because they were able to afford them, or something. But here, there's my number 004. Yeah, it's on this slide. So I am going to play video clip 004. This is an excerpt from The Duplicate Man, which was an episode of the Outer Limits series.
The Limits, yeah.
And I watched it. It is free on YouTube to watch, although I think it is somewhat official, so I didn't want to try to, get too much of it. But I did get this sequence where, according to a podcaster that I listened to, this sequence has Novachord playing the harmonies and the melody, among some other like orchestral or brass and woodwind instruments. But there is a clear melody in there that is played by Trautonium, and I would assume at this time that is probably Oscar Sala. He did work on some projects in the U.S. like The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock film. So let's hear this a little bit.
Henderson.
All the while he was coming to life, he was dying, and not knowing it. I love you, Princess.
In all the universe, can there be creatures more strange than the species called man? He creates and destroys. He fumbles and makes mistakes. But the thing which distinguishes him is his ability to learn from his mistakes.
All right. It wasn't, I guess, amazing musically, but it certainly fit the scene. The eerie melodic sound was the Trautonium. Now, when I said there was other musical instruments in it, I meant the rest of the score.
Right.
But yeah, that moment was Trautonium doing the solo, and then it sounded like a ringing of a clock.
Yeah, the chiming of the grandfather clock.
That was the Novachord.
Novachord.
Yeah, and basically, I guess the studios maybe. It's weird for me to think that just for little bits that they would bring in such major instruments, but I guess they had them, and so they could just use them in whatever capacity they needed to. But it also shows a different type of sound there. It was used for some percussive sounds, and you could do that, especially with the envelope in shaping the sound to make it short, so you just get an attack and an almost immediate like sloping decay, so that there you go.
Yeah, and I think again that you see so many of these instruments being used for atmospherics, giving you amplifying the sense of the surreal in a lot of these shows. It's why they show up in Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, and as we saw, last episode with Forbidden Planet, these are instruments that they have this little bump of being seriously used within compositions, and then they're still seriously used, but they stop being musical in a sense and become more atmospheric for films and television.
Mm-hmm. And so that is my complement of examples. And so we're going to move to the second half of this episode, because I knew it wasn't going to be long enough. That there is there are recordings out there of the Novachord, but so many of them are, copyrighted as musical performances. And then with the films, you have to be careful. That one I tested through YouTube and it cleared, and I think it's probably because it was so short. And so
I think the other thing is they get mixed in with other orchestral stings and sounds or whatever. So you have the traditional score that's going on, and then floating above in this kind of ethereal area are the more interesting instruments. The Novachord being one of them.
Oh yeah. Common people is really looking for some cat girls.
I am as well.
Yeah, I mean, understandable.
Well,
yeah.
we have the cat girl coming. Now, the thumbnail had multiple cat girls because that's what AI gave me as far as cat girls are concerned. I asked for one, and it gave me two.
So this is the one time that AI is superior to reality.
Well, it gave me like 2.5 Hammond organs when I asked for them.
Well, that's true, yeah.
And it gave me 3 Hermann von Helmholtzes. And so it gave me 2 cat girls, but they were animated, a little less tangible there. But we are about to find out about the cat girl, Maya, the cat girl, because one of the TV episodes that it was utilized in was this one, Perchance to Dream from the Twilight Zone. It was season 1, episode 9. And you see right there a very troubled Ed Hall, who is basically the tragic figure of the story. And I should, before starting it, at least post some of the credits here. And you chime in, gentlemen, if you want to point out any of these names. I'm not as much of a I'm not a film expert by any means, or a TV expert, but you might know some names here that are
the only person I recognize is Charles Beaumont, who I believe wrote several episodes, but other than that, I'm a bit at a loss.
What's is John Howard Ron Howard's father?
Don't know.
I could try to find out.
But I could do that even faster.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah. But Charles Beaumont, music by Nathan Van Cleve, since we'll be playing some excerpts from the score.
John Howard is a different man. He was in Philadelphia Story and Lost Horizon.
Not to be confused with Philadelphia with Tom Hanks.
No.
Different
thing.
So anyway,
he also his big character was Bulldog Drummond.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. We used to have a Bulldog Drummond episode on our channel.
But Richard Conte, if you're there, could you look him up real quick, because he did a great job in this as Ed Hall.
The actor or the?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Richard Conte. I mean, everybody knows him. So,
Okay. Well, I didn't. So.
well, so he's. I'm pretty sure he plays Barzini in The Godfather.
Oh. And which one was that? I've seen The Godfather several times. Oh, Luca Brasi?
No, he's Barzini,
No. Oh, okay.
the
Yeah. No, he didn't
other
look
the other
anything
member
like-
of the head.
No, he doesn't look anything like Luca Brasi.
No. He looks like Barzini because he's Barzini.
Well, I don't remember Barzini.
So when they have the big confab with all of the leaders, and Barzini is the one that actually sets up the hit on Luca Brasi and all that.
Okay.
But he's the hand behind everything. He's the clever one, and he always looks like the clever guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, very good then. Well, and then Selena Royals or Royal will be seeing some of
Royale
her
with
image.
cheese.
She is the cat girl, and so let us remove those slides, and hopefully for the second half I can reduce the amount by which I suck.
Adam, you take over. The sucking needs to happen. Come on.
I'm blowing right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
I reversed my engine.
Oh, let me find the switch.
So anyway, great font. Great font.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
anyway.
do need to go back and re-up on my Twilight Zones. It's been a long time.
I love the Twilight Zone.
So anyway, I can't play any of the theme because that's a little too recognizable. So anyway, this was once again season 1, episode 9. There are clips of it on YouTube, but I haven't found the full episode on YouTube. So unfortunately there, but some of those clips are pretty cool. I wasn't able to get the clip I wanted to take through. It gave me red signs when I uploaded it, and so I couldn't go ahead with it.
Ooh.
So anyway, I guess some of those other channels are not monetized or something.
Yeah, some people actually just don't care.
Yeah,
about
they're
tech
just looking to get it
violations.
up. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just want views and traffic.
So anyway, this is how it begins. We see a big building. Very important thing there because, well, we'll find out later. And, you see a big building and a very small man below it looking up at it. Actually foreshadowing. And, I mean, his facial,
A lot of face
character
acting. A lot of face acting going on there.
Yeah.
yeah, and basically, he's going to give his own backstory in a little bit, but I can probably say it now because you're not going to hear him give it. Basically, he's been awake for like 87 hours. Basically, anytime he falls asleep, he gets into this dream world, and we'll be seeing some excerpts from that dream world coming up. And in that dream world, it's kind of like an amusement park world that's very scary, and he finds Maya, the cat girl, there, and he feels that she wants to kill him. And so he's been trying not to sleep. And so anyway, he's going into this building, and basically is trying to work his way through the people there, and some gentleman asks him if he's okay, because he's obviously looking quite disturbed. Working his way into the building, and I see the number 1 there, which means we have an audio clip.
Huzzah.
And I can now click such audio clip.
You already know you're in an alien atmosphere.
It does not bode well.
No. Especially in a Twilight Zone episode.
And I think I got it in such a good start and end.
Yeah,
time
yeah,
that
you got
it's
it looping well. Yeah.
Yeah. For a minute there, I was like, wait a minute, when's it going to stop? But anyway, you could hear the shuffling of the feet of the people walking by. And obviously the Novachords, the bum 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 dun, bum 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 bum.
Yes.
And so it had a delay on it as well. And so, this thing was stacked. It was like really the Moog synthesizers that came out afterwards. They had all this stuff, but this is the first time that all these things that we consider to be a standard part of a synthesizer were put together in a unit. And so really cool. Anyway, we go further onward, and we see he's about to go into a doctor's office. And in case, and I just wanted to get the name and the number on the door in case anybody else feels they want to visit this psychiatrist.
I do have an urge.
I trust any psychiatrist I encounter in the Twilight Zone.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hi.
Well, Ed enters the office, and we don't see the front of the secretary at this point. And there's a reason for that we'll be seeing shortly. But
Okay, so we're giving you half of a cat girl right now. Just go ahead and enjoy it while you can.
But she's not in her cat girl suit yet.
Yeah, her
She's,
fully formed state. Yeah.
This is her, like her Clark
I'll wait.
Kent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is her Clark Kent.
I'm
state
intrigued.
right now. So he enters, and he's kind of like zoned out because he's, been up for 87 hours. And he looks at her vaguely. But at this point, he doesn't recognize her yet. And, well, he's been up
Well,
for
again,
87
you're only
hours,
getting
so I
half
don't
of cat
know.
girls, so common people can only give her a half. Yep. It's understandable. Heavy petting is what common people say
0.5.
right now. Yep.
Heavy petting. And so he just kind of looks at her and just goes in. But it was important to kind of see that. Like he glanced. Maybe a little bit of familiarity there.
Also, the animal motifs in the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
They were always so good at setting these things up. The little subtle hints everywhere.
God bless the art department.
Yes.
Each and every one of them.
And as he enters the room, he's not feeling well. He just kind of goes to the side, to steady himself. And we see the back there of the doctor who got up from his chair to kind of like see what's wrong with him. And we move on. Basically, almost as soon as he comes in, he's like, okay, do you want to lie down? Well, he's a psychiatrist after all.
Yeah.
You got to do a little bit of couch time with a psychiatrist. Yeah. And so he offers him over to this, as you see, a cozy couch. I don't know. Is that the standard couch in a psychiatrist's office?
No, it isn't his.
It was back in the day, actually.
It's a different time, you understand, 1957 or 58.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel that was a bit of a trope, but yeah, that was actually a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that, they may have done the couch time and stuff, but I thought it would not look like this. This is kind of like the...
No, they
Charlie
wanted
Brown
you.
of
They wanted you to
couches.
relax and sort of loosen up, so they could accuse you of their own flaws.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. Let's talk about my problems with my mother with you.
So they couldn't put him in a regular couch. It had to be this one. So anyway, there he goes. Plops on down. And basically they didn't even get to much talking yet because, obviously he's in this condition. And he basically, lays him on down. Lays him on down. And
Well, he's been carrying this exposition around for a long time, and he needs to dump it.
He's exhausted.
Oh, yeah. And there you go. I mean, it was all facial exposition.
Yeah.
So anyway, clip number 2 is about to be played. I'm sorry for the volume, folks. It is going to be quiet, but that's the best I could get out of it without distorting it.
I mean, I'm already having a dream.
And already at that point, what happened was he basically shot up. He shot up upright. Now, you hear the same thing we heard before, the boom, 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 boom.
Which will be reused in Star Trek episodes in the original series.
Yeah,
And,
that's where I've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
And originally I was like, wait a minute, did they use a theremin? No, the melody line, I believe, is also a Novachord, the same Novachord probably. But, since it had envelope controls, a really slow, gradual attack and so forth, you could basically transition between notes very smoothly, or perhaps, with a frequency dial of controlling the oscillator, you could basically bend pitch and so forth, because the tone is too rich to be a theremin.
Yeah,
And
you're getting
so,
the trill and all of that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
far too musically complex for the sine wave that you would get from a
exactly.
theremin.
So anyway, it's cool stuff. And then at the end, the bling, kind of sound. Basically, what you would see in this scene, he kind of lays down here, not feeling great, and you don't know if he falls asleep or not, but he jumps up, bolt upright, and that's the theme you hear when he's trying to, relax. And there's the doctor, and he's basically asking him, okay, so what's your situation? And basically put a bookmark in that couch time, because that's actually a signpost. So anyway, so he gets up and basically starts telling about the problem a little bit, basically that he has not been able to sleep. And I mean, for me, the episode, it's almost like I hate to say this, but you got to watch it, because the dialogue, it's not like he's necessarily providing a lot of information, but I mean, you can learn so much from it, because he's not saying a lot, but just seeing him and the way he acts, I mean, you are basically getting all the information that you need. Even though it is somewhat mysterious, it's like you get the impact of it, and it's all done, and most of it's done through physical acting. And so that'll help with the nerves and the anxiety, a little bit of...
Heck yeah.
And so psychiatrists, I guess back then, they could light one up for you, and
Your heart surgeon could light one up for you.
So anyway, to help calm down a little bit there. And so it's like, tell me what's going on. And but actually, he doesn't really want to tell him. If I remember correctly, at this point, he's not really telling him too much, because he's worried that he's going to be put in a straitjacket and sent away. And that's where he basically decides he's going to try to leave. But the doctor says, running away isn't going to help anything. And, that's where he explains that. And he's like, yeah, but you're going to probably just put me in a straitjacket, or do you promise me you won't? And the doctor says, well, I can't promise anything. And then he decides to wander over to the window. So we saw the building beforehand, and now we see the skyline outside the window. He opens the window, and actually at this moment, you kind of feel a little bit of heights, the way they film this. And so
High anxiety.
Anxiety.
All right, Mel Brooks.
I'm not good with heights, but anyway. So the doctor comes over and says, well, we can't be opening windows like that here. And, he'll turn up the AC. So then he decides to ask him to explain some things. But no, Ed just kind of looks at the painting on the wall and talks about it. It's like, I am able to make this move with my mind. And, the doctor's saying, well, that's an optical illusion. And Ed says, no. Like, he saw this painting before, and basically he could see the sails fill up, and And basically you could see the waters move and the boat actually sailing.
As one does.
Yeah. And there we go. Great face acting, man. And then he comes back over to he decides, okay, I've let you know that bit so I can tell you a little bit more. And basically decides to start explaining some things about his condition, because he actually does have a condition. But before that, he needs to pop some sort of something. And it was described as grains because the doctor asked him, how many grains are you taking? Because he's taking something to keep himself awake so he doesn't fall asleep.
Well, dexedrine was a hell of a thing.
I guess that might be it. I don't know what grains you take.
Well, in this era, you actually could get dexedrine, which is an amphetamine.
Also, and grains would have been a pharmaceutical measurement.
Yeah, it's also used for measuring like gunpowder and bullets, things like that. It was a common measurement.
Not so much in fashion anymore.
No.
Oh, you guys are useful. So anyway,
I know about drugs. I can help you with that.
So anyway, he has a seat and basically starts telling a bit of a story about how he was diagnosed with what they called a romantic heart. Now, I assume that's another like 50s term. Do you guys know what that is?
I'm not familiar with it at all.
Okay. Well, I would say a weak heart, probably, or something like that.
No, yeah, I mean that would be something more like you're a fantasist. That you're not necessarily connected so much with reality.
Yeah, delusional. Okay. I think maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's me. Yeah,
How many grains do you take for your romantic heart?
I don't take anything. I don't need it. So anyway, yeah, he has a seat and basically explains how he's diagnosed with a romantic heart, and basically some of the things that happens to him is that I guess you would say it's almost like he gets some sort of, not necessarily premonitions, but sensations of a presence, because he describes this story when he was driving in the car. He had heard about a news event where somebody was murdered by somebody that was in the back seat of their car. And then he was driving somewhere, and then he had this sensation that somebody was back there. But he'd look in the rear view mirror, and he didn't see anybody there, which we can see right there. There's nobody there.
I think Blue Collar Loser was in this episode on Friday.
Yes. Normally driving an Uber, but
just talking to someone that was
he had a very long conversation
with
the empty back seat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he realized they weren't there.
And he woke up with his car halfway through a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Well, this guy,
he took too many grains.
This guy had the
grain spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did he say? He had like some cheesecake shots or something? I was like, I never heard of that.
I lost track. It was after 15 or 20 drinks that he had done.
But anyway.
I was ready to go drive an Uber myself, so I was way past coherence, yeah.
But this guy has the opposite problem, because he realizes after a bit that there is somebody in the back seat. And he sees, look at those eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what happens next is he nearly runs into another car. That's his, oh shit moment. He nearly runs into another car, and he does end up kind of crashing to the side of the road. And,
my God, if I see a Taco Bell, I'm going to know that we've totally closed the loop on this.
They can hear us, I'm telling you.
I know they can hear us, my God.
Well, I hate to spoil it, but we don't see a Taco Bell.
Oh, thank God.
We do see him kind of like, they spin the camera and so forth, so you do see him kind of, almost roll off the side of the road, but you see it from that perspective. Definitely a great clip to look for if you can find it. But in any case, so he told that story, and so that's one of his events. Now we see in that, hold on. I'm going back because I sense that I had an audio cue. Don't I? Well, I'm pretty sure I do. Let's see. Because I remember getting
Is it a
one
clip from
that.
Blue Collar?
My common sense is tingling.
Hmm.
Yeah, here it's called Plucks. Okay. Okay, that was in the car. I must have missed it. But anyway, Plucks. There you go. There's some Plucks for you. Plucks for all the fish. All right. So anyway, he was.
All right. Babs suddenly revealing her age as she informs us that romantic heart is a rheumatic heart.
Really?
She probably looked it up.
Oh, you could trust Babs.
No, she's a nurse.
She's a licensed nurse.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I was just going to say it's not because
I'm just
old.
wondering how old her teaching material was that she knew that.
Well, so now we need to know what a rheumatic heart is.
It's when you have strep throat and it actually gets into your heart.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Does that cause delusions?
Apparently it does for him. That's
Well, you know what? If you're worried about something like that and you have a lot of worries about your heart, it can definitely play with the mind. I am switching to the next set of slides, which
I'll
are
avert
here.
my eyes.
There we go.
Get a glimpse.
Wait a minute. Is that the right one?
It's Barzini. He's about to tell the Godfather what's really going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, he shouldn't have gotten involved with all those crime families and stuff because, that's not.
I mean, he
good
was kind of
the
asking for it
heart.
at that point.
That's not good for the heart. Yeah, that looks like the next stuff, but are we going there already? I guess so. Basically, what's next is, he starts telling the story. The next episode that occurred to him, and this is basically one of his dreams. The other one, the previous thing, was not a dream. It was an actual car accident he had, but he saw the eyes in the rear view mirror. But this is a dream, and this one occurred like a few days prior to this office visit, where he fell asleep, and he was in an amusement park. And the soundscapes for this are just amazing. And, oh, wait a minute. What the hell?
You have not put numbers on these.
I don't have numbers for all of them, just the ones with audio cues. But the
Well, I
order
would think
doesn't
that the,
seem right. I think what happened is that one was supposed to come later. So here's where he starts telling about the next event, I believe. And there we go. So the slide that you saw before was supposed to come here. And he enters this amusement park in his dreams, and this is where we see. As you see, kind of like a dream reality would be a distorted impression of things, because that is not like a proper looking Ferris wheel necessarily.
Well, it is if you just back the focus off a couple of clicks on your...
How many grains is that?
How many you got?
Yes.
Barbara just said something about scarlet fever.
Yeah, scarlet fever develops into rheumatic fever, and then you end up with the
Heart
valve
valve
damage.
Okay. Well,
But I think she's pointing out that rheumatic fever can actually, so much like rheumatic, it's a autoimmune disease. So you can end up with a rheumatic heart even if you haven't had scarlet fever.
Okay. I do have a little bit of music for here.
They never play that when I'm on the double Ferris wheel.
I hear it all the time.
No, I mean, again, but not when I'm on the double Ferris wheel.
As you can tell from the car, that was the car crash. But I wasn't going to let it go to waste.
Exactly.
But anyway, I love it when cellos play low lines like that and make you feel sick and stuff.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, folks, it's been confirmed. I still suck. Okay. Now we go on to here, where definitely there was more amusement park sounds in this, and we see things like this. I mean, really creepy stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that since a B-sides panel.
We're in Carnival of Souls already, which is
Yeah,
a movie
yeah.
I refuse to put on B-sides.
Oh man, I mentioned that to you this week because that one also had the Hammond Novachord in it, along with Hammond organ.
Movie. Very disturbing.
Well, I didn't get to that part. I just started because it is free on YouTube, and I watched a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's public domain. Yeah,
Maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, where she basically, well, the first beginning scene, I mean, I was just like saying, you know what, we could use this for like what not to do in sound design because the ADR was horrible in the beginning. And
there's a reason it's public.
Wait till you see the rest of the movie.
Oh yeah, and as it goes on, it's just like I'm just not really getting interested.
A lot of blunt force trauma to the head.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but anyway, back to the good film, and so we see images like that, which are quite disturbing, enough so that I had to take 2 shots of it. And then we see here a more kind of, I mean, everything looks kind of like
Fever dream.
Melty, yeah, fever dreamed, and so forth, and that's kind of cool.
I love it.
Wait, wasn't that from the Acolyte?
It was not.
No, the spiral. Isn't that on her forehead?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I don't want to think of her as a cat. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, this is a portion that kind of gets flashed at you quickly. I mean, damn.
I would love to build one of those.
And then, of course, the merry-go-round, I guess they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Although all the things from like circuses and stuff like that are just, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of evil underbelly to them or something.
Oh yeah, they're all borderline terrifying.
Wow, I mean, there's a reason Something Wicked This Way Comes features a circus.
Yeah.
And a carnival.
Well, anyway, he does encounter the first being in the dream that he encounters, and you see that spiral again. Well, it's basically, this is supposed to be like some sort of a game at the amusement park where, you know, you need to shoot into the bullseye or something like that, and he does fire into it, and nothing really happens, and then we see the silhouette.
Cat girl.
Kitty, kitty.
Oh, yeah. And then this gentleman announces, basically, it basically has girls to display. I can't really say it any other way. And the feature girl, as you might say, is Maya, the cat girl.
I have to say that of the many jobs that I've had, the one that I've always really dreamed of and sadly never got is Carnival Barker. I want to be a sideshow Barker.
You missed your calling there.
I know. I'm here for it.
And I'm just looking here to make sure I don't miss the next. Yeah, I'm not going to miss the next audio cue. All right, so anyway, and a great shot there just to see the spiral / bullseye in the background, and then him looking over, somewhat intrigued, and Barker introduces Maya, the cat girl. Everything's at an angle here. You never get a sense of, a camera being on a tripod on the ground.
No, it's Dutch angles, man. That tells you that things have gone awry.
The things are a little askew now.
Yep.
And you don't really get a proportion of where the floor is. You assume they're on a stage or something like that, but you don't really quite see it. It's really eerie. And then the light comes on and we see Maya, the cat girl. And there's a bit of percussion here, so I didn't capture that so much. It's kind of like a bit of a beat, and she starts doing a bit of a dance. And, of course, there she's wearing the animal print. I guess that would be a cheetah.
I'm having a hard time seeing what.
Oh, yeah. No. Is she wearing clothes? I hadn't noticed.
Not in your mind, on the screen.
Oh. I'm just seeing a leg and
Well, yeah. So got a little bit of leg, and
Hello Kitty.
yeah.
Hello.
I wasn't trying to get
Oh yes, it's purely accidental. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes, that is cheetah print, confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course,
We've all been there, men. We've all been there.
he's got those common people eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. As we move on, he decides he's going to run after this dance because he gets the vibes from her that I don't know. Maybe it's like the hunt or something like that, because you have the cheetah print, you have the percussion playing, and just this look from her. It's almost like she's almost hunting him.
Look out, boys. She'll chew you up. She's a man-eater.
Yep.
Whoa.
Oh, here she comes.
So he heads off. He starts running, and she laughs. There's a lot of laughing in this. It's an amusement park, so I guess people feel obliged.
Well, she's amused.
And he eventually comes to rest somewhere and decides, well, he needs to have a smoke. He pulls one out, and then when he's going to go for a light, a hand comes in, and it's hers. And then she asks him, so why did you run? And he said that...
I know Daryl Hall and John Oates, and I have been pre-warned.
I'm okay with Hall, but Oates.
Yeah,
is
Oates.
creepy.
That's too much.
Oates. Well, she says, well, didn't you like the show? And he's like, well, maybe it was too good. It was too entertaining, and she basically decides, well, I'm going to sit down here and talk to you for a little bit. And he asks her, well, aren't you supposed to be back there? You're working right now, so to speak. And
she's working it.
She said, I have the night off.
All right.
Already.
Okay. And
hope I brought my heart pills.
They could do makeup well back then, I'm pretty sure.
Helps when you have a good underlying actress to put the makeup
if you've
on.
got a good canvas, it's not a difficult.
And I never read this. What is that?
Fortunes Told.
Fortunes Told.
Uh-huh. Now, it has not missed my attention that the name Maya, the word Maya in, I think it's in the Hindu faith, means the reality around us, the illusion that we are in right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I thought that was a pretty cool.
That's a nice touch.
Well, it's almost like these writers know what the hell they're doing and have some sort of a life experience other than I went to college and then immediately went to writing.
But you might say that, well, but he sees her in a dream, is that the reality around us? Well, we're going to find out some stuff.
Well, as the Hindus say, perhaps we are living in the dream and the reality is something else.
Yeah, but we're going to, at this point, the audience doesn't know what they're going to know in the future. And here we go. We are now at this point where she says, come on, let's go somewhere. It's something else in the amusement park. She says,
fun house.
Yeah, and so she wants to go in there. But I took a snap of this because every place that they go, and you see this in the other dream that comes up later, he's got to pay for it. It's like he needs to actually buy the ticket to do it. It's almost like a metaphor for you need to give your consent or an exchange of energy.
Paying the ferryman as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
or as a certain Arab would have said, gas, grass, or ass. No one rides for free.
Yeah. Buy the ticket, take the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she's basically invite him in there, and they go in. after he pays. There we go. And
that is well formed, is what that is. That's a grown woman right there.
You don't have to leave, but I don't mind watching you go.
Oh, exactly. Please.
So anyway, this is supposed to be fun. That's what I say about circuses, man. I don't know.
R2, how are you, buddy?
I think they were invented by, I don't know, some dark spirit somewhere. Well, and it's
that was always the point of it, is that there's the thrill of the rides, that you get frightened for a bit. You see things that you would not normally see.
Yeah,
it's the step out of your normal experiences, and
freak shows and magic tricks.
It's the the risk and the fear and all that, and the thrill you get, but within the confines of safety. Well, the problem is it may not, the safety may not be on offer for this one.
Well, there you go. That might be the thing. The Brahmin puts this into existence, and it's just, like an amusement park ride. It's like a circus show, and we are here, but we are safe, for we are just immortal souls having this experience. Well, never mind. Maybe
he's got some questions about that whole immortal part.
So anyway, but we see faces like this in the darkness, and I think I saw her on the Alkalite too. Or is it a he?
Well, I think she played two characters, given the expressions. Yeah.
Well, anyway, they're wandering through, and we see all sorts of faces. Yeah. Is that like a Chinese dragon type face?
Yeah. Or a demon.
Japanese more.
A little more, the curved teeth are saying a little more Bali, Malaysian to me, but yeah, close enough for white people.
Well, but again, I mean, think about the era you're talking about, where, I mean, the idea of being exposed to different cultures, especially, the mystic East,
the exotic,
right? That these are the things that would absolutely, be out of the normal experience, and a bit of a shock, again, give you a bit of a fear. You're living on the wild side, the dangerous, edge.
Well, Professor R2 says they're called Oni, Japanese demon.
If it's Japanese, that's what it would be called.
And Professor R2 is probably one of the most intelligent white people that I know. So I
don't know that he's white, but if you say so.
I mean, of all the astromechs I know that are painted white, he's definitely one of them. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, here's the thing: is that this is, like at best, this is a set-made prop, made by predominantly white guys. So, as far as the historical accuracy and picking,
there's an amalgamation of things.
Yeah, it's just a carnival of sources. So. Mm-hmm. But it's a scary demon thing. We can all agree with that. I was just
going to go with Professor R2 said,
R2 testified he's white as hell.
So anyway, Dark Place is an audio clip I have here. And you see in the upper right-hand corner, I do have a number that is to cue me to play number 6. So I'm going to. See, and it was looping there. Basically, I wanted to get that texture because that motif is continuing, but now it's higher in pitch. And so in the dream world, in the dark place, it's like a higher frequency sound, but it's the same rhythmic motif that we were hearing, basically throughout the film in these sequences. And so we shall continue. I didn't want to get too much from this section. I really wanted to, actually, but I couldn't because this is one of the segments that is on YouTube, so I figured it would be more easily trackable sound-wise. So anyway, she's like, so what's the matter? Not feeling so great. He's like, no, it's kind of scary in here. I don't like this. But she's like, you're in a dream. You already realized that because earlier he mentioned that he's in a dream, this isn't real. I'm actually in my bed sleeping. And she's like, but you're in a dream, so you have nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah, what could possibly happen?
And so then I guess it was like, you know, a good idea to kiss at this point. So they
Well,
did.
I mean, if it's going to be that kind of dream, let's go.
And so, yeah, did a bit of kissing. But then as soon as they do and kind of like release a little bit, we see, didn't get a good shot of it, but some things flying around. So, you know, you see some of the funhouse stuff going on. And then there was a flashlight, you know, just kind of blinking in the distance. It kind of reminded me of some of the electroacoustic music concerts I've been to, you know, and, you know. So anyway, there we go. And then there's like Death or somebody like Death, maybe his brother, in the background going by. These were basically like on sticks or something, just like models going by. And
Look at
then,
this pine lad.
yeah, more creepy stuff. But a lot of this stuff, I mean, I was affected after watching this, you know, even though it's black and white and it's older, it was like somehow there was something about it that was
Well, again, these
maybe more real.
yeah. Well, but you have the combination of the writing of the set design of the people that are actually, you know, filming this, who know what they're doing, and then you have the soundscape on top of it, and there's just this, you know, and again, even now it affects us, you know, when we see that, and we have seen some shit on the screen, right? Imagine when this aired in 1959, how affecting it was.
Yeah. And so he comes back because basically the dream ended with him running off. Now, we've already seen one kind of like flashback sequence that was actually an actual memory. And this was a memory too, but of a dream. So you get a sense that there's going to be one more. Because in the
They always
first
come
one,
in threes.
Yep. In the first, well, and plus it's a 30-minute episode.
Like I said, they always come in threes.
And so in the first sequence, we just get the eyes. In that one, we kind of get the first meeting, the first kiss, you know, and just this. He tells the doctor here, I think she wanted to kill me. I got the sense she wanted to kill me. And he's like, okay, you know.
Let us get her fully formed.
Yeah, and so now I'm going to load up the third and final set of slides.
Told you they come in threes.
Yep.
Yeah, the when I was back home visiting, you know, family and stuff during the 4th of July, one of the channels was doing a Twilight Zone marathon, and I mean, I was just any moment I'd be like, I'll sit down and just watch this and go for hours because my gosh, are these some great stories?
Well, wow, yeah. And then here, basically, this is after a commercial break, but you know, and they bring you right back into it because
Barzini realizes the Godfather has figured out his plan. He's really sweating now.
And the doctor's like, all right, so, I mean, the doctor was just listening to him, but I guess that's what psychiatrists are supposed to do. Didn't offer much. It's just mostly like, well, you know, they're dreams. And it's like, you know, and then he's like, no, I fell asleep again, and this is what happened. And this, basically, we assume that we're getting, you know, these two dreams in a row, and these are the dreams that are the reason why he's been staying awake for 87 days.
Yeah, he's been running on Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Hours.
Yeah.
87 hours.
Yeah.
And, oh, yeah, that was the slide that kind of snuck in earlier. Wow. So anyway, back to the amusement park. And basically he comes in the entrance, and there she is.
Yes, she is. There she is.
They know how to do lighting.
Well, it helps when what you're lighting is that. Yeah.
And he's like, It's like, you were trying to kill me, I thought. But you didn't see her actually try to kill him. It was just basically, walking through the fun house. But I would say more of the critters there were, more interested in killing him. But she seemed to be the guide, like bringing him there, almost like a metaphor of life, bringing you through some circumstances you don't want. You to say to life itself, you were trying to kill me. And
well, that's because it is.
yeah, well, and she's like, but it usually doesn't say it so bluntly. And she's
Well, it's
not
because
very
you don't
blunt
listen well.
either.
We try to fog our eyes, but life is a terminal condition.
And there she is, basically. But you're just in a dream, right? This is just a dream. Nothing
What
can
could go
happen to you.
wrong?
Nothing can happen to you. And then she's decides to point out some things. Like she points, look, Edward. And I tried to capture something there, but it was what she was pointing at.
Scaffolding?
Yeah. I think it was scaffolding of a roller coaster, but it wasn't. Yeah, if we go back, the lighting there, it was a dark scaffolding, basically. A roller coaster, I'm pretty sure, because they eventually go on one. And then she says, look over here. And there we go. We see a bigger section of the roller coaster. And that's what she wants to go on, basically. And he's got to pay again. And so they go over to the roller coaster, and you see a carnival worker there who's basically throwing the lever to make it start moving. They're actually sitting in a roller coaster seat. Doesn't look like they have seat belts or a protective bar or anything.
Just hang on, you'll be fine.
And, well, that's probably what she said. And and they start going up this incline. All this is very blurry and stuff like that, but it's supposed to be a dream, so it works. And she's just kind of like, and it's weird because he's just kind of like woozy and just kind of like rocking around, and she's kind of like writhing, almost like she's enjoying it. I couldn't exactly capture it in the pictures because they're not moving, but that's really what it's kind of like. And then there's the fast descent. And they go into a section where you can see the rest of the amusement park. And, she's still, as you can see, kind of looking to the side. She's kind of just laughing and smiling but, kind of moving around in a dizzy-like fashion, and so is he, but he's not feeling good about it. And, it's going up and down, almost like the ups and downs of life. And, then you can kind of see her face. Throughout the whole thing, it's like an ecstasy for her.
Yeah.
And then she begins laughing and stuff like that.
I have to tell you, Adam, after this ends, I'm going to remind you who she is, and you're going to really be angry with yourself for not noticing.
Well, that's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry with myself.
I understand.
And then we're back to there. And then some of it's dark, but, basically you see the smile in the darkness.
Yes.
And like the whole sequence, we are going to get to a point where I can play a little bit of the music from it. And then he's at the point where I can't do this anymore. I got to get off. And she's like, you can't get off. And then she's like, well, if you want to leave, there's only one way. You have to jump. And basically she points down, and you can see, well, that's a long way down.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little bit like Hollywood or something like that.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
But you can never leave.
And, more faces, and then he's back out of the dream. Although, did the last one have a cue? Well, I'm going to play it anyway, because I know I got audio from that. All right, so roller coaster. Let's go back so we can... Okay, and so it's looping there. basically you get the idea the trumpets are giving this staccato. Oops, sorry about that.
Well, my.
What is that?
Yeah, but you have that that ethereal, unreal quality going on with the staccato of the the trumpets and then the sound of the roller coaster.
Yeah, kind of, and it's like the click clack of the roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have this.
She's having a good time.
Yeah, she's enjoying herself.
Yeah.
I know that sound.
I know she didn't watch B-sides.
Yeah.
And in the background you hear the electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's looping, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, again with those pitch shifts and the we anchor you with the lap and then behind things are just a bit wavy.
Yeah, kind of like the seasick feeling you get from how he was feeling himself on the roller coaster. Kind of the seasick feeling, and then over top her laughing and stuff like this. But you could just see her face and how she moved. It was almost like an ecstasy, like she was just enjoying his suffering.
Yep.
So anyway, he's like, okay, doctor, I realize there's nothing you can really do for me. And he's just going to leave him. Because,
That'll be $500.
Indeed.
well, as we'll find out, it wasn't a real doctor visit, I guess. Well, maybe it started off that way. But
Spoiler.
anyway.
Whoa, hey, no.
Well, no, this is when it happens. You can't spoil it, this is when it happens.
Well, I thought you were questioning this man's credentials. For God's sakes, we don't know that.
Oh. Well, okay. Oh, I thought you were talking about this. Because basically he leaves the office, and, well, not the whole office, but there's the secretary. Now we see the front of her. And,
yes, we do.
And she is Maya.
Well,
actually, no, her name's Caroline as a secretary. But he sees her, and then he yells, Maya! And then he comes back in here and closes the door behind him. He's flat up against it. He's like, your secretary, that's the girl from my dream. And the doctor's like, but her name's not Maya. But that doesn't help him too much because he decides he's just going to run and jump out.
Well, I think this doctor's heard this before.
Oh,
your secretary is the girl of my dreams. Yes, I've heard that.
I know.
I know. Why do you think I hired her?
Well, there's only one way to get out of the situation, and it's just to jump, which is what she said on the roller coaster.
Yeah, you got to jump to get out.
You've got to jump. And so he jumps, and you see the ground rushing up at you, which is not a fun feeling.
Was that a music cue I saw in the last frame?
Oh, thank you for your noticing. Let me do that. Let's go to the last frame and actually play it. Yeah, and it's actually called Jump, but it's not Van Halen. So
no.
That was basically the music building up, him jumping out the window and screaming. Yay! And so that's what happened there.
So we go to the psychiatrist who's thinking, this may affect my license renewal if I keep this up with the patients.
Well, not really, because he kind of gets up after scratching his chin a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He opens the door. He says, come in, Caroline.
You bring the broom and the dustpan while you're...
Yeah, I've dropped something. Could you pick it up?
And he's like, come on over here. And he checks his pulse and finds none and says, oh, I don't know. He just came in. He laid down. And then there's that scream that you heard. So this is when you realize basically the whole doctor visit post laying down was an experience that Edward had, but
nobody else was sharing it.
But I guess you'd say it didn't really happen, or it did in the other universe. And the doctor's
well, again, in both universes, this man is going to have some questions raised when he goes for his license renewal.
Well, probably.
Yeah,
there will be paperwork. And...
Yeah, there always is. I mean,
Yeah. But anyway, poor Edward. So he just indicated, and you heard that scream. But then he says, "Well, it looks like he died of a heart attack."
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor says, "Well, at least there are worse ways to go."
Exactly. It was quiet. Well, yes, it was quiet for you, not the person actually having it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was kind of like a peaceful
Oh, yeah.
experience. He died in his peace because he was just in his sleep there,
Yeah.
But
Well, they always say that though about people that die in their sleep.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's so peaceful." For
You
you,
don't know.
yes. For those of us who have had cardiac enzymes actually hit the bloodstream, no.
And then we conclude with just a look out at the city. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means. Big phallic symbol there reaching up at the sky. But yeah, and Jump was the last one. So that's all the audio clips. That's all the slides. So I would recommend to people that if you can find it at all, Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 9, Perchance to Dream.
Yep.
I definitely want to rewatch this.
Now,
Pretty cool.
Adam Gray, I shall make the great reveal.
I meant
Okay,
to.
hold on. Let me get these slides out of here. There we go.
Oh my God! Hey,
I put other slides in.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Maya is in another movie that we have seen recently, The Return of Mr. Moto.
Oh, you're kidding.
She's the one who's kidnapped, and they have to deal with all that mess.
Oh, well, it wasn't that recent, but shame on me for sure.
Mhm.
All right, very nice.
Yep.
Well,
She's
Babs is listening.
Maxine.
She'll be Googling furiously any second now.
Yes.
So, yeah, let me see. I'm going to try to go back to that. There we go. Her name is Selena Royal.
No.
No?
No.
That's
It's
not
actually not. No. No.
Really?
Hottie McHotpants is not Selena Royale.
Well, then, who is Selena Royal? This is listed in the...
That's a fine question, but what I can tell you is on the Twilight Zone for that episode, and most assuredly the pick matches, that ain't her.
Can I be the first one to make a Pussy Galore joke?
You know
Yes,
what?
you can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, are you going to...
Yeah. I'm rolling through because IMDb's UI is what we call dog shit.
Yes.
So it's Suzanne Lloyd.
Suzanne Lloyd. That
Yep.
name I recognize.
Yes, that is who played Maya. And who we also see
Okay.
in
Now,
The Return of
yes.
Mr. Moto.
Yes. Now I remember. The chat was full of ones that night.
Yes, it was. Oh, there were many, many ones that day.
Well, you know what? Here,
Took
let
our
me
mind
try
off the
this.
movie.
Yeah.
Let me try this. I am trying to find out what happened.
I wonder
Who in
if
the hell is Selena Royale?
she used a stage name for that.
No, she was already well known. Selena Royal. Well, let's see. She was in a Date with Judy.
Yeah, we touched on that at the beginning, R2.
Well, this is funny because, I have to admit, the way I looked it up was just searching what are the credits for the Twilight Zone, Perchance to Dream, and then I clicked on, Ask AI or something.
And that was your mistake, yes.
And I got an AI response, and it got the rest correct. And now that I type that in again and search the same way, what I'm seeing is, it has Nathan Van Cleve, the composer, is correct, Charles Beaumont, but it's not listing actors now. It's not even listing them.
So in the future, avoid asking AI anything. It lies. That's what it does. It has no understanding.
So who is
Remember that the
Selena
images
Royal?
that you got, and remember that accuracy when you decide that you go, oh no, but AI told me. No.
No, I'm pretty sure this is a Droutonium, Lords.
Yeah, that's supposed to be it. There we go. I saw the pictures. It's all good.
Computers don't lie.
So,
No.
so has anyone found Selena Royal yet?
Yes. It's a woman who last appeared in anything in 1959.
Okay, so it was the same year.
No. That's because she was in As the World Turns in 1959. Prior to that, her most recent credit is 57, the Matinee Theater and the Ethel Barrymore Theater, and she was essentially like TV actress, and then previously had done some things, but no, she had.
All right. Well, actually, let me do this. I've got some pictures over here. Damn it.
That's her.
I no. I mean,
Yep, that looks just like her right there. No, Suzanne Lloyd is not who we're talking about. Suzanne Royal is, or Selena Royal. Sorry, Selena Royal.
Off the rails. We're off the rails, folks.
Yeah, Selena Royal died in '83 in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Well, are we seeing it now or seeing my browser here? Selena Royal. I assume that's her.
Yeah, it is in fact her.
Okay.
Notice how she doesn't look anything like Maya.
No.
No, get some cat ears on her, a little
makeup, hair dye, a Dutch angle.
And who played?
Yes, R2 is correct. Yes, she plays the mother in Robot Monster.
She does. Yes. Good catch, R2.
So who is Catgirl again? What's the actress's name?
Oh God.
You didn't memorize that.
I have to scroll up in the chat.
I think it's Suzanne Lloyd, I believe.
This is why everyone.
It's an interactive show, folks. Help us out.
Yeah.
Lloyd. Is it? Dude. Let's try that.
Yes, that is her.
Return of Mr. Moto. Yes.
Yes, that is her.
Oh yeah. There's a distinctive look, and it is hot.
Well, then we're getting other Suzanne Lloyds down here.
Oh my God, she played in The Young and the Restless in 2017.
Sure, we all did.
She was a restaurant patron.
I didn't know those shows were around that long. What am I going to do here? Maya the Cat Girl. Let's see if we can.
And here we go into hentai land.
Oh, look, AI. Good work. Yeah.
No,
disable AI as options.
This is just a search. This is just a regular Brave search.
No, that's why we filter this stupidity out.
We got derp cats galore.
Yeah. Yeah, what you have is brave the browser but dumb the results.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
There she is.
Oh, look, Suzanne Lloyd.
One of them is correct. The rest is everybody.
The other one are your credits. My God, sir.
I like this one here, the little brown thing.
Oh, yeah,
no mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, no mouth or nose.
Now click over to DeviantArt and click.
Yeah. We'll see. If I have the choices, I'm going to go with the one on the right versus all the other results that you are showing right now.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, that's why you got to listen to the end of the show so you can find out the truth. Because you're not going to get it in the middle.
My God, we're suddenly back at the sideshow / circus with some of these results.
I'm so proud.
Well, and the background that you saw with those animated people, yeah, that was AI. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, and one time I did search for, I did that AI search to find out the composer for Time Warp. Remember we were doing that?
Oh my God, these are just going to be, it could be, I actually composed the music for Time Warp is what we discovered.
Was that guy that did the music for Rocky Horror.
Yeah, he did the Time Warp dance, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I typed in, and you asked, what's his name? Jethro, and Jethro was like, no.
No, that's not right. No.
He didn't compose it.
No.
But that's what it thought. It's like, oh, the Time Warp.
I'm going to have to, sadly, Adam had to delete the episode, but the long B-sides where I actually explained the hell this alleged AI actually is. Sadly, we need to revive it from the archives and redistribute it to some people, apparently.
Almost went 7 hours.
Yeah.
Me and Jay on AI. It's as exciting as you could imagine.
Well, yeah. You just type
But
in
apparently
stuff.
could have been useful for at least one person.
A teaching moment.
Yes, yes.
Mike,
Well,
you got to turn, or Lawrence, you got to turn that off. You got to turn
Turn
off
what
the
off?
AI. The
Yeah,
AI.
the AIs. All the AIs
Turn
kill
it
it
off.
with
Well,
fire.
I use it for the artwork because I want surreal for the artwork.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah, I guess for information. Well, at least I got the other people right.
Did it. Did it.
We have a super
thank you
chat.
very much. The first and the second super chat of the channel. He has the gold and the silver is
Yeah.
Common People.
Common People, co-owner of this channel, actually, is...
He does have the majority shares.
Yes.
Majority shareholder. The
Yeah, God help
stakeholder.
you with the board meetings, Lawrence. That's all I'm going to say.
He's like, oh, now he wants me to not use AI ever again.
Yes, yes, yes.
What about for the artwork, man?
Yes, but just go to the site. Dude,
That's
you don't
fine.
need to
Okay.
use your
Then you
browser.
turn it the hell off or use a different browser or whatever. Yeah.
Well,
Actual information, not so much.
Okay, never use AI again in getting information.
Yes, yes, yes. Because
Okay.
it doesn't actually provide it.
All right, all right. Well, it
never
provides
in my life
something.
would I think I would be recommending Google over anything. But
Yes, yes.
Falsehoods exist.
I'm actually encouraging you to go ask people outside walking on the sidewalk. It will be more accurate than whatever result you get from AI.
Well, maybe in the future, what I should do is just put the real answers and then the AI answers.
Exactly. Yes. To do a compare and contrast.
Well,
That's oddly
man.
specific, R2.
I don't know. But I think Catgirl, if she had the real life name of Selena, that would actually go better than Suzanne or Susan.
Look, I don't know who labeled it, but the contents of the packaging was absolutely good.
All right, folks. Well, oh man, is there anything else to discuss? That's all I had planned. Well, I'm glad it's
Do I have to pull this podcast over?
What's going on?
Just stop at the stoplight. That's what was good enough for blue collar. Oh, we couldn't script this and we wanted to, for God's sake.
AI could.
No, it couldn't. No, it gave us the acolyte. What the hell are you talking about?
So what happened? What's so funny?
Yeah. I'll tell you the story sometime.
Are we laughing at me?
No, we're just laughing near you.
Okay.
I'm out. I'm going to go back in the waiting room. Going back in the waiting room. And see,
Yeah, well, you
Adam's
almost-
over here going, God, I hope they don't mention my movies. Oh, my God.
Well, Adam, you made movies?
I have made movies, but none of them will be shown on B-sides because they're all trash.
Well, because they're too good.
Did any of them have some good soundtracks?
I was in the art department, so that's not my bag. I'm just a painter and a set builder, but no, I think James was referring to B-sides.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know what else to do. I think maybe we'll call it a night then.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Have you
for joining us.
consulted with the proprietor of the channel to see if it's okay to end? I'm just...
Yeah,
Our
common
CFO
people.
here.
Yeah.
Our chief
He's our
shareholder.
finance officer, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he has covered StreamYard for the month of July, so that's
Oh,
great.
there you go.
There we go.
Hooray!
So, anyway. So thank you for joining me, gentlemen. And it's great to see Professor R2 in the chat and common people as always. And Mike Gorley. Let's see, anybody
Stitch.
else?
Stitch was in there.
Oh, yeah, Stitch. Great to see you again. Well, so next week, what are we going to do?
Not AI.
It doesn't involve AI.
Well, you know, I just, I just thought.
That will be fine.
Well, I mean, don't you think it could just go look it up on IMDb and tell me what it says?
Yeah, what do you think? I'm going to go to an actual website? No, I'll just ask AI. It's, you know.
Close enough.
Well, the thing is, IMDb, I don't pay for it, so I
I don't either. You know what you can do? Look
You
up
get
Twilight Zone and then click on episodes, and they'll actually tell you who are in them.
You'll get
Really?
85 pop-up ads, but other than that,
No, I thought that it only limits, what you can get out of it, so.
no, it'll give you cast and crew on anything.
Yeah.
But it's just insufferable amounts of ads.
Oh, okay.
If only there
Yeah.
was some way to block such things.
Mm.
Well, I think Brave might block some of those, but I remember one time when I was looking up information for like one of our previous episodes on the theremin, and it was, what was it? Yeah, I think of that Delicate Delinquent, and it said no, you have to have the paid version to be able to see.
Yeah, there's like certain trivia or other things that they'll absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted the composer, and so.
Well, AI just made up some. I mean, you might as well have made up some shit.
You'd be better off using Wikipedia than AI. So.
Well, just make up names. I mean, that's you got a better chance of being correct.
More often than not, I use
That's all it's
Wikipedia
doing.
For
Oh, Common
credit.
People also claims ownership of the Brown Alliance.
Well, he does, but I think Larry.
I think it's
is,
split with Larry.
Yeah. It's
They're
a
50-50 shareholders.
they're both on the board anyway.
Yeah. Well, at least he's got sole ownership of the Wayfarer.
Exactly. He may be looking to sell it at a distressed price.
Not too many investors want to own a project.
He's gonna sell us for NFTs before it's over.
Well, good to know.
I had
that.
earworms, but I got a JPEG, so it's all good.
It'll be worth millions of
Millions.
Oh no, we're not going to say that because we don't want to be we don't want to have any kind of prior knowledge of things.
No.
No, didn't see it.
My God, our chat has become AI. Can't trust anything it says.
Alrighty. All right, folks. I guess we've come to the end of this evening. It's about 2:45, and there's no one in the place but you and me.
Oh.
We've laughed, we've cried, we kissed AI goodbye.
Hardware wars.
Well, new Charles Bowman.
Good night, Gracie.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you.
Hi, John Boy.
Thank you for joining us, folks. I hope it wasn't too painful. I'm not sure what we're doing next week. I could always do the claviole lean, but I think we should. I'd like to keep up with like some of the film stuff, especially with interesting soundtracks. But I'd like to find something that I could get more of a soundtrack from, because this I had to play real careful, because the Twilight Zone is still very popular, and
Well, public domain is your friend, so
yeah. Oh man, Carnival of Souls.
no.
That is not your friend. That is not your friend.
Well, I'll keep an ear out for some good public domain stuff. Normally, we're so They're so busy tearing it apart. I don't pay a lot of attention to the music.
Oh, well.
That's mostly the bongos and the banjos that we've
Yeah,
been trying
see what
not to pay
happens?
attention.
So, yeah, I'm going to work on it. But, yeah, we're going to definitely do maybe the claveline, because that one I was already planning on doing at some point.
Yeah.
And then and then we'll do something that has claveline in it, but I'm going to make sure it's something that's a good film, but has a soundtrack that's not, it might sneak under the radar a little bit. All right, folks. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, I guess we all should just take care and stay out of trouble and feel good about everything, except I don't feel good right now. I feel bad, actually.
Until next week, adios, amibas.
All right, folks, take care.
Bye.